Hi, I'm back again with Stephen Ford, and we're going to find out a little bit where he found his inspiration for his cat books. Stephen is an author illustrator who has published a number of different titles, both in color and black and white, in Norwegian and English. So, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about your books and where you found your inspiration?
Well, my first book, The Eric's Viking Voyage, I wrote back when I was in graduate school, and then when I was going into hospital, uh, I sent it out for publishing directly onto Amazon. So then I had a lot of time on my hands in hospital, and I just was thinking about children's books, and so I just started writing because I had time on my hands, and I'm trying to find some escapism, and just the imagery for my How Cats Fish, or Hvordan fisker katter. I just had very strong ideas of the illustrations and
Why did you
especially
choose
this
all the
one.
lined paper?
Well, because I'm trying to get that woodcut feel of
Yeah?
Rockwell Kent,
Okay.
who is a famous American illustrator from the last century. And so, but I just got like this very strong image. It was one of the first ones in my head as I started to write out the book. And I have my standard formatting. I like doing things with frames because the frame allows me space for a second idea. And part of the constraint here is I have only on a 32-page children's book, I have about 14 pages, which I have to convey the story. And the thing about children's books is that the kids read the pictures. So most of the story needs to be over here, and the words are there to distract the grown-ups and give them something to occupy their time with. But the kids are looking at the pictures; they're making their own stories. In this book, I give the parents a nice cup of coffee, and so that's just a little hidden gem for them to see the cup of coffee disappearing as they go through the book. And to find on that 40th reading, as all adults know that you have to read these again and again. So I hide little things in there for the grown-ups. And yeah, and the thing is, because I'm living in Norway, I have it bilingual. And so in this book, I also put a cat language in. And so the fact that there's multiple languages is part of the joke and the story of it. And it's not a good business decision. Americans will not buy books with a second language in it. But I live here, and I'm very happy to live here. So I listed up a whole bunch of titles for children's books. And one of the titles was Why Cats Knit. And I was like, all right, well, that's unwritable. And then I'm sitting, in a hospital waiting room, and I figured out how to write it. And so, and once I figured out that solution, it wasn't just how to write it, I had to write it. I had to get that out. And then this one was really fun because, I was finishing up the knitting book, and I'm just walking down the fjell through the fields on my daily exercise, getting over the cancer. And there are just these large marshmallows in the fields. And it's like, all right, well, what can I do with that? And so I write, and I'm writing these cat books, and it's like, all right, what are cats, giant marshmallows? And so, I just write out a nice little story about the Norwegian marshmallow industry. No one seems to talk about that. It's all salmon and oil. And so I just describe that and tell the story of that. And I have my cat language again. And there's little things hidden in there for the adults.
So I think that if you would like to find out what these hidden things are, you can look for Stephen Ford, who also happens to be a colleague here at Noor University in Steyntjer, and look up his cat books. Thank you so much for telling us where you found your inspiration, and be aware because inspiration can strike anywhere.